This would have been post 9/11, 2004, 5. We started the relationship with them probably in 02, 03.
With who?
Them being Angela and Albanawi. Our church was in a relationship with Angela. We all knew her through the church. And then her husband was from Niger, a predominantly Muslim country. 95% at least were Muslim in that country. Albanawi also being from there. We started that relationship with them. Albanawi came to us with a problem, said that some families had to walk 3, 4, 5 miles one way to get water just for cooking, cleaning, and drinking. And it was seriously hampering. None of the kids could go to the school because that was usually their job, was to go get the water for their families. So while they're making a 4-hour trip to get water, they're not in school, they're not learning, they're not bettering themselves in that way because it was tough. So at the time, the United States was putting off a very anti-Muslim image, of course, after 9/11, and we thought that this would go a long way to letting countries like that, and specifically Bankilare, and just having a personal relationship with a small area, letting them know that there were American Christians out there wanting to do good work. So when it came time, we had finished our first well, or were very near completion of our first well. We ended up building 4 total over the course of 10 years. It was a long-standing relationship. And we needed somebody to dedicate the well. And Chip asked my mom to go and dedicate the well. Her being from a poor family growing up, they all lived, she had 5 brothers and sisters, they all lived in the same house. Her one brother lived there with his wife till he was 30 before he got the opportunity to move out. So she'd never been out of the country, and they didn't do a lot of traveling either. But she was game. When Chip said he needed something, that's the way the congregation usually responded, and in droves, ready to do it. So this would have been, I would have been in 2nd grade. The young disciples were really, and the youth group was kind of the driving force for the church, a big driving force in terms of mission work. They really got the ball rolling because parents and older people respond to kids when they want something, you know. They're like, we want to build a well for Niger. Like, how are you supposed to tell a kid, no, you can't build a well for Niger? So they respond well to that. Anyways, they sent my mom to Niger. 2 weeks, week and a half, no water, eating what they ate, really roughing it. She lost like 20 pounds just from being there for 2 weeks. Like, it was a rough stay. She had Angela and Albanawi with her, translating and meeting the people and doing that kind of thing. But we're really affected, my family in particular. The last 2 days, the last day maybe, it was around the end of her trip. She had a woman come up with couldn't have been older than 1-year-old baby, and she kind of handed it out to her. And it wasn't uncommon for like mom to like touch the kids and like play with the kids and stuff. So mom figured she was just wanting her to hold the baby or something. And she asked Angela, you know, like, what does she want me to do? And she's like, she wants you to take her baby. She wants you to take it home to the States. And Mom was just dumbfounded, like, how could a woman a mother ever want to give up her children, right? Because she had me and two of my brothers at the time, and I guarantee she couldn't fathom wanting to give us up. Maybe my youngest brother. He's right there. Yeah. They might want to give him up from time to time. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No. Yeah, I couldn't imagine like her ever doing that. So she was like, why would this woman ever want to give up her child? Like, why? And well, Angela is kind of low, and she said, well, she doesn't want to give up her child, but she knows that the best life for her child would be in the States with a family that could feed it and give it clean water and education. And obviously there's laws against taking a child from a mother, so she couldn't do that. She got home, and I think she thought about that experience for every day for a long time, because she was to the point where it was almost clinically depressing for her that she wouldn't get out of bed, didn't want to do anything, really didn't want to move, because she had seen something that she couldn't fathom. Being from rural Indiana, she just couldn't understand where that was. So our response for our family was she wanted to adopt a child. She wanted to adopt somebody in need. And so we started looking where's the most need, and we came across China. They had the single child or the two-child rule at the time, and there was just an overflow of little girls that couldn't find a home because the parents wanted boys, and the girls got thrown to the side. So the orphanage was all full with little girls, and then specifically handicapped girls that had medical issues that they couldn't get even American families to deal with, really. So we adopted, and would have been, I was still been in second grade, so it happened pretty quick. We adopted my first sister. Her name's Zaya. She had a cleft lip and palate where it was, I don't know if you know what that is, where it's just real spaced out there. She has that corrected. She's wonderful. And then a year, 2 years later, I would have been in third grade, so a year later, we adopted my second sister, also from China. She had a heart condition, a hole in her heart. Her name's Sadie, and I actually, me and my second youngest brother, his name's Ed, we went to adopt her. We went to China to adopt her. So that would be my second daughter, and then sister. I don't have any daughters. It would have been my second sister, and she's great as well. And then my dad was kind of like, Lisa, we're gonna have to be done here. We're gonna run out of space for all these kids, because they had 3, and they're like, all right, we're done at 3. We won't have any more. And now all of a sudden we got 5. So we wait about a year and a half, and then my mom sees a picture come across. She's like, Brian, we gotta adopt this girl. And my dad's like, I don't know, Lisa. And she's like, no, we have to. So that would have been my third sister. Katie's her name, and she was malnourished, and that was her handicap, I guess. She was really, really small. She had big old tube worms they were taking out of her in the hotel and stuff. Really rough stuff, but because she would eat dirt, that's how poor they were. They're like, how did she get these worms? They're like, oh well, we couldn't feed them, so they get so hungry they would eat dirt. So that would have been my third sister, Katie. So yeah, I have 5 siblings, and 3 of them are little girls from China, and 2 of them are brothers from same mother. Yeah, we're a happy family, And it all stemmed from a youth group mission, young disciple mission in Niger, Africa, where we wanted to build a well for people who didn't have water. And it changed my life. Yeah. Yeah, it changed my life amazingly. So that's my story about making peace in the family and doing our little part, I guess.
So, do you mind if I say a few things?
Yeah, no.
First of
Sure.
all, to your family, I couldn't be prouder. I have the best job in the world. I get to literally travel the globe and watch what we commit to as a church. And stories like this abound. You model, your family models everything that the gospel stands for and calls us to. It's one thing to sit in Sunday school class, listen to a great sermon, and talk about
An okay sermon.
about what love calls us to. It's something else entirely to travel across the globe and demonstrate that love tangibly. You just make me very proud. I talked about the Three Great Loves initiative. One of the things that we're going to do over the next 2 years is identify 300 Three Great Love heroes. And I'd like to personally nominate your family as one of those heroes. It's just a deeply moving story. And I'm proud of you. And Chip, you play no small part in this.
In a lot of situations, it's just sort of getting out of their way or facilitating. And I love that story. There's, these guys were, I think, all young disciples when Ethan sort of. I think I told you that story. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times it's just the kids' visions. It was Jacob, a young disciple, who, when listening to the story, goes, "Let's dig a well there," and it's true. Then the church goes, "Okay, how do you say no?" And one of the things about that he didn't add was, they came up about $1,000 short, and so his mom comes up and she goes, "How much do they need?" Well, I had two other families come up and say, "How much?" And so I said, "Lisa, this is what I'd like you to do. I'd like you to go dedicate the well." And she's just one tenacious mama.
I hope I get to meet her.
Oh, you come sometime.
I will.
Yeah.